So we will be solving all the numericals one by one from R.S. Aggarwal Maths book class 9 along with the examples. So first we are starting with page number 613 and we will do 5 examples. So let's begin with example 1. Example 1. So I will not write the question. I'll just say the question and the solution will be done here. You are requested to keep your book open. So, a coin is tossed 200 times and it is found that head comes up 114 times and tail comes 86 times. If a coin is tossed at random, what is the probability of getting a head? Second, a tail. So a coin is tossed 200 times, so the total number of outcomes is 200. Okay, so first what we have to find? Probability of getting a head, and second is a tail. So the formula we have already learned is that the event probability of an event is equals to the number of favorable outcomes by total number of events or trials. So that is PE is equals to probability of event is equals to the number of the probability, or the number of times the event happened, the number of trials or the number of favorable outcomes. So first I will talk about head. The number of times the head comes up is 114, so the number of favorable outcomes is 114, and the number of total outcomes, that is the total number of times the coin was tossed, is given to be 200. Okay, so now if we divide this, 2 5s are 10, 2 7s are 14, and this is 2 1s are 2, so it will be 0.57. This is the probability of the head. So now we talk about tail. That will also be same, the probability of the number of favorable outcomes by total number of outcomes. So the probability of event will be the number of time a tail comes up is 86. It is given to be 86, and the total number of outcomes is 200. So this will be 2 1s are 2, 2 4s are 8, 2 3s are 6. This will be 0.43. This is the number. This is the probability of getting tail. So this was it for the first question. Now let's move on to the second question. So the second example says that when 2 coins are tossed simultaneously 300 times and it is found that the 2 heads appeared 135 times and 1 head appeared 111 times and no head appeared 54 times, then if 2 coins are tossed at random, what is the probability of getting 2 heads, 1 head and 0 head? So first we will see 2 head. Two heads. Okay. So here 2 heads, that is the probability of the event. is equals to the number of favorable outcomes by total number of outcomes. So the number of number of favorable outcomes of two heads is found to be 135 times. So it is 135 by total number of outcomes, that is 300 times. So the answer will be 0.45. okay, this is the probability of getting this event. The second bit says us to find the probability of getting one head. So here also PE, probability of getting this event of getting one head, is equals to the number of favorable outcomes by total number of outcomes. So the number of favorable outcomes given appearing to be one head is given as 111 times, and the total number of outcomes is 300, and the probability of getting this event is, so the probability of getting this event is 0.37. So now let's move on to the third bit. What our third bit says is of getting zero head. Okay, so now here probability of event of getting zero head is equals to the number of favorable outcomes by total number of outcomes. So the number of favorable outcomes is given to be 54, and total number of outcomes is 300. This is 300, that is equal to 0.18. So this is what the answer is to this question. Now take a notice of this, that if you add all these three event or experiment, then you will get the answer as 1. Adding of all this, sum of all these events is equal to 1. So now let's move on to the third example. So what our third question says is, 3 coins are tossed simultaneously 150 times, and it is found that 3 tails appeared 24 times, 2 tails appeared 45 times, 1 tail appeared 72 times, and no tail appeared 9 times. So if 3 coins are tossed simultaneously at random, find the probability of getting 3 tails, 2 tails, 1 tail, and 0 tail. So first, 3 tails. So the probability of getting this event is equals to the number of favorable outcomes, which is given to be 24, and the total number of outcomes is given to be 150. So 24 by 150 is the probability of getting 3 tails, that is 0.16 is the probability of getting, 16 is the probability of getting 3 tails. Now the second question is, second bit, 2 tails. Okay, so probability of getting this event is equals to the number of favorable outcomes, that is given to be 45 by total number of outcomes, is equals to 150. Now if we divide this, we will get 0.30, which is the probability of getting tails 2 times. So the third bit is 1 tail. So the probability of getting this event is equals to the number of favorable outcomes, which is given to be 72, and the total number of outcomes is given to be 150, which is equal to 0.48. This is the probability of getting 1 tail. What our fourth bit is probability of getting 0 tails. Here also it will be probability of the event will be the number of favorable outcomes, which is given to be 9 by 150 is the total number of outcomes. So the answer will be 0.06. This is the answer. Now here also take the notice that 0.16 plus 0.30 plus 0.48 plus 0.06, this is all is equal to 1. Okay, so now let's move on to our fourth example. So what our fourth example says is that a die is thrown 250 times and the outcomes are noted as given below. So there is the outcome and frequency are given. So if a die is thrown at random, find the probability of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the first one is first bit, probability of getting 1 in the die. So that will be equal to number of favorable outcomes by total number of outcomes. So probability of event is equals to number of favorable outcomes, number of times one appeared, that is frequency, is equals to 65, and the total number of times the outcomes are noted are 250. So this is equal to 0.26. This is the answer. So now what our second bit says is probability of getting 2 in the dice. So the probability of this event is equals to the number of outcomes is given to be, the number of favorable outcomes is given to be 40, and the total number of outcomes is 250. So 40 by 250, which is equal to 0.16. Now the third bit says the number of the probability of getting 3 in the dice. So here the probability of event will be the number of favorable outcomes is given to be 42. Here by total number of outcomes 250 is equals to 0.1688. 0.168. So the fourth one now, that is the number of times we get 4. So this will be, probability of this event will be the number of favorable outcomes, that is 25 by 250. Now this is equal to 0.10. Okay, so now the fifth one, that is 5, which is equal to, the number of outcomes given is 33. This is the favorable number of outcomes, by 250 is the total number of outcomes, and then the if we divide this, then we will get 0.132. Now there is a sixth bit also. So what this, to find this also, it is also very easy, like the number of favorable outcomes is given, and that is 45, and now the total number of outcomes will be, it is given to be 250. So now if we divide this, then the answer we will get is 0.18. So now we will solve our fifth and the final question. So now we'll be solving our fifth and final question. What it says is 1,500 families with 2 children each were selected randomly, and the following data were recorded. Out of these families, one family is selected at random. What is the probability that the selected family has 2 girls, 1 girl, and no girl? First, 2 girls. What is the probability of getting 2 girls? So here the number of outcomes is given to be 102, favorable number of outcomes, and the total number of outcomes is 1,500, because the total number of families is 1,500. So now if we divide this, we will get 0.068. The second one is 1 girl. So here also the favorable number of outcomes, that is given to be 675 by total number of outcomes, which is 1,500. So if we divide this, we will get 0.45. This is the favorable, this is the total number of outcome of getting 1 girl. Now the third bit is no girl. So this case also, 0 number is the favorable outcomes is given to be 723 of getting 0 girl by 1,500, that the total number of outcomes is equals to, this will be equal to 0.482. Okay, so this is the outcome of this is the probability of getting 0 girls, no girls. This is the probability of getting 1 girl, and this is the probability of getting 2 girls. So now here again, if we add this 0.068 plus 0.45, plus 0.482. Then here again all this sum will add up to 1. Okay, so the next 5 questions will be solved in the next video. Thank you.